got to meet Joanne a long time ago as she was principal of what was then UES, which then became Crossroads, and she keeps evolving into other jobs, and she's become a part of what we are in South Brunswick, so I have to thank her.
It is my great pleasure to bring up my friend, our interim superintendent, Gary McCartney, who's going to say a few words about our honoree tonight, Joanne Curtis.
I wanted to write down what I wanted to say because I didn't want to forget any of it. This is such a special occasion. Please, right here. So the Education Foundation annually seeks to recognize individuals who have brought honor and distinction both to the district and to themselves. And tonight's honoree meets that intention. And let me tell you how. About a dozen years ago, I had the good fortune to select and recommend Joanne Kirkus as the Assistant Superintendent here in South Brunswick School District. And she's made me look a lot smarter than I am every day since. So I thank you for that. Now, if I were to attempt to tell you everything she does for our district, well, let's just put it this way. We have neither the time nor enough wine to fortify ourselves for the length of that report. So I'm going to skip that. Suffice it to say that Joanne is a veritable dynamo. Her work ethic is second to none. She's legendary for her around-the-clock emails. Her fingerprints are on every curricular and instructional enhancement that's occurred here in this district over the last dozen years. She's a bastion of ethical behavior and integrity, never a variance. She leads by example. Joanne would never ask anyone to do something that she wouldn't do herself. Her style is endearing. She genuinely loves her work and everybody she works with. And in a time where the term administrator has few positive connotations, JK here is beloved. Joanne Kirkus has served the students, staff, and community here in South Brunswick with great distinction. As a matter of indisputable fact, Joanne has created a legacy of distinction. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending congratulations and gratitude to this year's Education Foundation honoree, Joanne Kirkus.
I'd also like to present this proclamation to Joanne. Cutting to the punchline, be resolved by the Education Foundation of South Brunswick Township trustees, we hereby recognize and thank Joanne Kirkus for her dedication and her service to the South Brunswick School District and create the Education Foundation Art Grant in her honor. Joanne Kirkus.
So thank you. Let me just start by mentioning that I have a just a couple people I want to acknowledge. They're the subjects of my stories, and they're here tonight, so I think I should probably introduce them to you if you haven't met them. So there's Bill. I'm not Mr. Kirkus Wetherell. Bill, where are you? That's my husband. He's been good for a few stories, I think. And my son, Chris Kirkus, the tall guy standing next to Bill. And then in Bill's arms, my granddaughter, my best friend, BFF, Olivia. I didn't think I was going to get up here without Olivia, like, in my arms. And it's sort of a joke in my family that they tell me there's never been a microphone that I don't like. I'm asked to speak a lot, and I think Olivia's following my footsteps. She loves the karaoke machine. So I figured you were going to be treated to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, which is her crowd favorite. I have to thank the Ed Foundation for naming a grant in my honor. And the fact that it's a grant going to teachers, it just couldn't be more fitting for me. For those of you who know me, what beats in this body is the heart and soul of a teacher. And I've had many fine moments in my pretty storied career, but I don't think there's any finer moment than 1974, the first time I stood before my class, 3rd grade, East Windsor. I can recall it to this day, comes right into my mind's eye. I remember standing before them and thinking, I was about 5 minutes into instruction, and I remember having like an intake of breath, like, and I realized, oh my God, this is what I was meant to do. Love at first sight. So happy that I decided to spend my career in the company of children, and I gave a silent thank you to mentors who encouraged me to enter this field. That's my dad. And I have to tell you, when I visit classrooms throughout the schools, and teachers try to tell the kids like who I am, so they'll be like, oh, this is Miss Kirkus, assistant superintendent, and they're not overly impressed with that. So then usually they say to me, are you the one who calls off school when the weather's bad? And I have to say, no, that's the other guy. But then teachers invariably will say, well, what Miss Kirkus does is she teaches teachers. And I see the kids' face light up a little bit because I think they think that's pretty cool. And what they don't know is I think it's pretty cool. To be a teacher of teachers, for me, that is a label that will just last a lifetime. The grant is such a cool thing. I've always admired the Ed Foundation for putting dollars behind grants, because those of you, I know there's some in here who have received grants, and a grant really is to seed. It's like a seeding, a planting of something that will grow and flourish. And I have watched many, many things over the years. Marty, I was noticing recently that you're close to $55,000 worth of grants. Over 100 people in the district have benefited from it, some multiple times. The Ed Foundation was amazingly generous to VTN, amazingly generous. We're a cutting-edge program because of the grants that you awarded to VTN. And so I love the idea that, and I'll be excited to see what happens with the grant in my name, to see what is seeded, what grows, and what flourishes. I guess I'm thinking about like how will my garden grow? So I'm very, very excited about it. I couldn't be more honored. You could not have picked a better recognition for me than to do this. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I am proud and I'm filled with gratitude. Thank you.
So that is the formal part of our presentation, but now